Hi, my name is Stephen Monson, and today I'm going to be showing you how to work on the ASN Excellence in Patient Care website. There will be chapter markers in this video, so you can skip straight to the section you need. But let's go ahead and just dive right in. And the first thing I'm going to talk about just is some of the basics, some of the intro things. To log in, you're going to want to go to epc.asn-online.org, and then you'll type in /login. If you don't have a login, then you're going to have to talk to someone that can give you one. But this is where you'll log in. And once you do so, you'll be taken to the back end. I'm going to show you here really quick. So here you'll be meted with the dashboard. Pretty much you don't really need to worry about any of this right here. Everything you need is going to be on the left and on the top. I'm going to show you how to go from the front to the back. This is what I would call the back end of the website right now. But if we click right here on the name, this will take us to the front end. And the front end looks very similar to anyone just coming to the website with one important distinction, and that is that there's a black bar here at the top. This is only visible when you're logged in as an admin or an editor or something like that. And it gives you some convenient abilities because you can go to various pages. Let's say, for example, I want to go to the acute kidney injury page. Then I can go up here to edit page if I want to, and be able to edit this page directly. I can look at it from the front end, and then I can go into the back end and make changes. I can say, oh, I want to make an edit to the mission statement, or I want to go in and I want to, whatever, I want to add a new block. So I could make a change. I'm just going to make a very quick change just as a demo. I'm going to put an asterisk here. So now there's an asterisk. And then to save my changes, I'm going to go up here to the right and click this blue update button. That's how you save pages and how you save changes to pretty much anything in WordPress, is by clicking the blue update button, or it will say publish the very first time if it's a brand new page. But mostly it's going to be update when you're working on things. So now I'm going to click up here where it says view page here at the top to see my change. All right, and so now you'll see if I go down here, you'll see this little asterisk is here. So I'm just going to remove that now. I'm going to click edit page again. And then we're going to click here. I'm just going to delete that. And then we're going to hit update to save the change. So that's a quick demo of just the basics of running WordPress in general. All right, one of the first things I'd like to show you is how to edit project headers. You'll see, for example, in this AKA Now section, we have a little section that has some navigation. This can be edited by clicking on the edit menu right here. And you'll see we have the AKA Now header. That's what's just titled. And most importantly, we have the menu right here. This is basically a bullet list, and you'll see that there are indentations in the bullet list that basically make submenus. And if you wanted to add a new one, all you'd have to do is just go to the end and hit enter, maybe enter twice to get to be a top level one, and you could just say like test. If I hit edit or hit update here, and then if I go back to that page, and we can just see that by clicking here in the ASN, navigating there really quickly, you'll see now there's a new button that says test. If I want to get rid of that, it's just as easy as deleting it. Of course, if this was real, I'd want to probably put a link here, unless it was going to be a drop-down menu. Let me show you how to make a drop-down menu real quick. I'm just going to do, say, sub-menu. And then I'm going to click right here to say increase indent. By the way, if you don't have this or you don't see this icon, click this toggle toolbar here, and it will bring it up. So anyway, I have a submenu. I'm just going to give it a link, maybe link it to, I don't know, we'll just link it to the home page, even though that's not where we'd want to go. Or home dialysis, why not? We'll hit apply, hit update. There we go. And if I hit refresh, you see that now this is a submenu. If I click on it, or if I hover over it, I can click here on submenu. It'll take me to the home dialysis page. Now, since we don't need this, I'm going to go ahead and just delete it. I'm going to highlight, just hit delete. There we go. Hit update, and it's back to how it was. Now I'm going to show you how to make a new one of these project headers from scratch. So right now we need to make one for the human factors page. It doesn't have anything yet. So let's go ahead and make one. So I'm going to go to project header and then add new right here. In the title, I'm just going to call it human factors header. In the menu, I'm going to click the bullet list icon right here. And then I'm going to just say overview. Then I'm going to hit enter. And then I'm going to say membership. Now I have a basic menu here. I'm going to hit publish. And just so you're aware, this won't do anything by itself. It needs to be put on the page. So if I go to the human factors page right here, and I hit edit page, you'll see there's a section here that says project parent. If I click select, it'll show me all of the project headers that currently exist. If I want to choose the human factors header, I'll just click on it and I'll hit update. And then I can hit view page to see what it looks like. I might have to refresh sometimes. So I just refresh the page and you'll see it says overview membership. Now you notice these look really skinny, and that's because they don't actually have links yet. And they need to go somewhere. Right now, if I click on it, it just doesn't do anything. So what I can do is I can copy this part of the URL up here. So basically everything after .org, I'm going to copy it. And I can go in here to the overview and click the insert edit link icon right here. And then I'll just paste that. And then I'll click this little blue apply button. I'll hit update. And then if I go back to the page and refresh again, you'll see that now it's an actual link. And this one isn't a link yet, but we're going to make that in a second. First, we need to actually make the page that it goes to. And that's pretty easy to do. There's several ways to do it, but I'm going to do it this way. If I go to new, you can see you can make all kinds of things, posts and all kinds of other things. But basically, we're going to make a page here. And I'm going to call this human factors, right? And we're going to call it membership. So it's the human factors membership page. Now you'll see I need to add the project header. So I'm going to click here and choose human factors header. And then one more important thing I need to do is right now, if I just left it as it is, it would be a top level page. We don't want that. We want it to be a child of the human factors membership page. So if I go to parent, I can scroll down under projects and then look for human membership. It's going to be in alphabetical order. There's human factors. That's what I meant to say. If I click here and hit publish, we will see in a moment that we will have that page. So I'm going to click view page here at the top. And now we have the membership page. And I just need to grab this URL so we can put it on the header. So I'm going to hit copy. And I'm just going to highlight membership, click insert edit link, paste the URL. You can see it right here. It's got the project, human factors, I'm going to hit apply. And just hit the update button over here on the right to save our changes. Now let's just take a look. And that's basically it. That's how it works. So now I have an overview page and a membership page. I can add more pages as needed. So all you do is just make another page and then grab the URL and add it to the list. So yeah, that's how you go ahead and make project headers for the website. All right, the next thing I'd like to show you is how to edit the menus. So what I'm talking about here is the top hand menu right here, and also the footer menu at the very bottom right here. So to do that, all we need to do is go to the back end here by clicking on the name. And then we're going to go to appearance right here, and then menus. Now you'll see there's actually a few menus here. First of all, right now, if you look right here, it says we're on the footer menu, meaning all of this is actually equivalent to the footer menu right here. But there's other menus as well. If you click here, I can say final menu. Now that's a little bit weird, but it's basically the menu right down at the very bottom, these 4 links. It's very simple, just ASN home policy. And then up here is the main menu, and that's the one at the top. So if I want to add a new page to this, all I need to do is go over here, and I can either look at some most recent pages, or I can click view all, and this will show me all of the pages that exist. or I can search for a specific page. And because there are so many, this might be a good way to go. For example, let's say we want to add a newly made page here. I have human factors, for example. I just made a membership page. Let's say I wanted to go find this human factors membership page. I could go here and search and type in human factors and membership, I guess. And there it is right there. I can check this and I can add it to a menu. Now, I actually don't want to add this to the main menu. I want to add this to the footer. So I'm going to go here to footer nav actually and change what menu I'm working on. I'm going to go back here to search again and go to human factors. And there it is, human factors membership. I'm going to click on this to check it and then going to hit add to menu. Now, once I've done that, you'll see it's at the very bottom. Now, what I can do is drag it to where I really want it to be. So let's look for the human factors. It's right here. So I'm going to take this and drag it right here. Now, if I just left it here on the same line, it would actually be at the top level, and that's not what we want. But let's show you what it looks like. And I'll refresh the page. And you'll see now we have human factors and human factors membership. That is not what we want. So let's go back to it and change it from being at the top level to being kind of a submenu under human factors. So I'm just going to take this and drag it to the right ever so slightly. And now it's indented under human factors. I'll hit save menu. And then I will go ahead and refresh this. Now you see under human factors, we have overview and human factors membership. So that's looking pretty good. Now let's say I don't actually want to say human factors membership here. Maybe I just want to say membership. Well, we can edit menu items names as well. So to do that, I'm going to go here to human factors membership. I'm going to click this little arrow and this gives me extra options. I'm going to change it so it just says membership because it's already under human factors. So it's kind of implied that's what it's for. So I'm going to hit save menu. And then we'll just go back and refresh that. And now you'll see it says overview and membership. So that's looking pretty good. So yeah, that's how you edit menus in WordPress. All right, in this section, we're going to talk about how to add blocks and patterns when building pages. So basically, we're going to show you how to build a page, show you the different types of blocks that are available. And yeah, this should help you get going with those kinds of things. So I'm going to go here to edit page. And you'll see that this page has various blocks. It has a mission statement block. It has a section header block. And I'm going to show you how to add these on a new page. And so let's just go ahead and do that. So I'm going to go over here to pages and add a new right here. I can also do it up here, by the way. But I'm just going to click here, add new. And I'm going to make a brand new page. This is really just going to be a demo page, but let's go ahead and call it just demo page. That's fine. And by default, you'll notice that it's not showing us any blocks, or there's not really any way to add blocks. This is the classic editor right now. It's really good for when you want to just add some text or some pictures and you want a nice simple page. It just makes things, pretty simple and concise. But when you want to add special things like a mission statement block or staff cards or other things like that, you're going to want to use the block editor. So I'm going to go down here and there's a section right here. It says editor and it says switch to block editor. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So we have our demo page. You'll see it says up here and we can add blocks. If I just start typing, it's just going to put what's called a paragraph block in. So I'll just say like, here is some text. But most of the time, we're going to want to control what kind of block we're adding. We can do that either by clicking here, or I prefer actually to click up here on the left because it's a bigger menu. I'll show you the difference. If I click here, it shows you some of the blocks. But if I click up here, it'll show me all of my blocks, which is usually more helpful in this case. So we have a bunch of different blocks, including the mission statement, header section. Some of these are like basic ones that come with WordPress, like paragraph, heading, list. But really, what I want to show you are these blocks that were built specifically for this website. So if I take this mission statement one right here and just drag it in, we have an area where we can put our mission statement title and our mission statement paragraph. I'm just going to say example project. And I'll say our mission is to save lives and other cool stuff like that. And if I click out of this block, it'll give us kind of a preview of what it will look like, which is helpful. Not all the blocks do this, but some of them do, and that's nice. And if I hit publish right up here in the upper right-hand corner, I can save this. And then we can go to view page right here at the top. I'm going to click on that. And now it shows me my new demo page. Has a little paragraph here. And we have our little mission statement block. Doesn't look too great, especially with this above it. So let's go ahead and let's make a few changes. I'm going to show you how to rearrange blocks. If I click here, there's this little up and down arrow. If I click the down arrow, it's going to slide it down right below the other one, which I think is a little bit better. And then we can add a whole bunch of different kinds of blocks. Let me show you a few more. So I'm going to click this plus here, the upper left-hand corner. And you'll see there's the section header. This is a pretty useful block if I click on it. If I click away, you see it has this little underline. These are basically these designed section headers that we've made specifically for this website. It has a few unique features like icons. So I can click here and choose like the spotlight icon, or just shows this little icon here. I'm going to change this to say spotlight. And click there. And there we go. We've changed the name. Maybe I would change it to say demo page spotlight, whatever. It doesn't really matter. And there's also this little checkbox right here that says stick to top as you scroll. This is pretty convenient, especially for longer sections, because the title will actually scroll down with you at the top of the page as you scroll down. And that just makes it easy for people to kind of keep track of where they are, especially if it's a long spotlight section. They know that, okay, I'm looking at spotlights right now. So that's what that's for. I'm going to go ahead and I'll check it too. Why not? And then I'm going to go up here and add a new block. Let's do the thank you block. I'm going to take this and just drag it in right here. And I can add an image. I'm going to click add image. Let's try again. And we'll just take any old image. Doesn't really matter. This one will be fine. And I'm going to hit select in the bottom right-hand corner to add the image. I even have an option right here that lets me choose the image width. So by default, it's set to 33%, but we could make that 50 or whatever we want to do. Sure, 47 is fine. And I'll just say, thank you for doing home tests. Just because this is called a thank you block doesn't really mean you have to have it be about the thank you, but that was what the block was originally designed and used for. But really it's just a text on the left or text on the right and an image on the left type of block. It also has a place for a button and a button link, and I'll show you that in a second as well. But let's hit update. And then I'm going to go over to my demo page here, which I have in a new tab. And I'm just going to hit refresh. Very good. So we have our mission statement block. We have a little bit of text, and we have demo page spotlight section, and then this little image and this graphic. If I want to go back here, I can also add things like button text. So we can say like, learn more about COVID-19. And then we can make a link to wherever you want. The easiest way to do that probably is just to go find the page you're looking for and then copy and paste the URL. So for example, maybe I want to link this to the COVID-19 page. I'm going to open this in a new tab right here, just to kind of save our spot. And I can either copy the entire URL, or I can copy just after .org. So the backslash and everything after, I'm going to copy that. This is what's called a relative link. I'm going to put it right here, paste. And now we have a button text and a button link. I could even add a second button, but let's just go ahead and, well, yeah, I'll add a second button right now. We'll just say learn more about COVID, and we like also say learn more about tests. And we could put a link. I'm just going to copy this one for now because this is just for demonstration. Now I can go back to the demo page and hit refresh. Now we have this thank you block, it has some text, it has a picture, it has some buttons. The only thing I think it really needs now is it needs a title. And this text block is pretty flexible, so we could add a title like this. I'm going to say headline. I don't know, that works. And then I'm going to, while my cursor is here, I'm going to choose paragraph and I'm going to change it to a heading 2. And I will hit update. Heading 2s, by the way, are good for most of your sections most of the time. If you need like subsections, heading 3s are good. H1 tags or heading 1 tags are actually only used once, and they're usually used at the top of the page. So I don't really recommend putting them in manually. They're going to go right here at the very top, and they'll come from this up here. So that's kind of a little rundown of how that works. Let's show you a few more blocks. I'm going to click here on the plus icon. And let's do the project menu. I'm going to take this and just drag it right here. This project menu is pretty limited in its use. It's basically used on the home page and the projects page. We could potentially put it on other pages as well. It's a block that doesn't have any inline options at all. It's kind of global and universal. You can change it by going on the left here to theme settings, and then you can click on projects. I'm just going to do that in a new tab to keep our place. But here we can put our short title. That's the kind of abbreviation, the detailed title, and the link to that project. So this is done once, and anywhere you put this block, all of this information will be placed. So that's the project block. There's another one that's very similar to the project menu block, and that's the Workgroup menu block. Now, this one can be edited inline. So this is used for places where you have sub sections, like for example, on the NTDS and some others, we have these sub work groups, like current and emerging threats, and these are actually edited right on the page. So here we have the work groups, and we can give it a title, and then we can say like, copy one of these, like current and emerging threats. So current and emerging threats, and then we could put a link to it. And yeah, then you can just add more rows as needed, like so. So that's how that's done. That's how you add more buttons. Moving on, we have the Spotlight, and the Spotlight comes in 2 flavors. There's the one-time use, and there's the Spotlight Picker. The one-time use is convenient for just going and making a spotlight really quickly. It's good when you're only going to use it one time. You don't need to put it on multiple pages. You put in your headline, you put in your project origin, that's optional. You can put a paragraph, you can put a button text and a button link. You can check this video checkbox in case it's linking to a video. If it's not, just leave it alone. If you put a PDF in here, it's going to automatically detect that and put a PDF icon on there. If you check this checkbox, it'll put a video icon on the button. Then you can do the same thing, add buttons here. And even though there are several options, really the only most important one you need to do is video, or you can do web article if it's just an article. It doesn't really matter too much. And yeah, you can fill that out and it will show up on the page. Examples of that are these, for example. We're on the COVID page, and this is the title, this is the origin, this is the text. And you can also make these with reusable pickers. So I'm going to do the reusable kind of a spotlight. So spotlight one-time use, and now spotlight picker. We're going to grab that and just drag it right here. And the only option is like, which one do you want? You click here and it shows them all right here. And let's say I want to do this monkeypox one. I'll just choose that. And I'm going to hit update. Here, I'm just going to hit view page. Now we have our projects thing. We have our work groups, which is mostly blank, but that's fine. And we have this blank one, which I didn't really fill out. That's why it looks like there's nothing there much. But here's the monkeypox one that I chose. That's how that works. By the way, if you want to do those spotlights that are reusable, the way you make them and edit them is right here where it says spotlights on the left-hand side. This is a custom post type. So let's just go to all spotlights, and you'll see there's a list of them. We could add a new one by clicking add new, or if I want to edit an existing one, I could click here. And this is where I put the title. This is where I put the paragraph. This is where I put the text, the button text. And this is where I put the button link. And so it's very similar to the other format. It's just slightly different. One thing that's a little bit different is right here. This is where you put your picture. But yeah, that's how that's done. You can also give Spotlight categories. That's optional, but you're welcome to do so. Moving on to more blocks here, we have the resource expander individual and the resource expander category. The second one's going to be a lot more useful and probably what you'll use most of the time, but this one can be occasionally useful. So let me show you what this is. I'm going to add a resource archive, right, like that. And we're going to say what category do you want to put in. Now let's just do the COVID one. Now I'm going to hit update and we'll take a look and see what that looks like. I'm going to go here to our demo page. I guess I'll close that. And now we have all of these expanders for the entire COVID category. Once in a great while, maybe you might want to add a specific couple of expanders, just like one individual thing. Like I could go in here and say, like, I want the COVID immunization one specifically. I can hit update. Here's the COVID one all by itself. You'll notice it's kind of going the full width. I could potentially add columns, by the way, in here if I wanted to. I could click here and choose columns. Let's see if I can find that. By the way, if you want to find something quickly, you can just search for it. So I'm going to type in columns and just going to drag this in. And I'm going to do a 2-column layout like so. Then I can actually take this and I could grab this little drag handle. It's these little dots, drag it, and I can just put it in right here. Sometimes it's a little bit finicky. If it is, just add a block like this, like just add a paragraph or something. And then it gives it a little bit more room to stick in there. See where that blue thing is? By the way, when you're dragging and dropping, you want to look for where that blue highlight goes. There we go. And I can just delete this one now. And now I have it in a column. I could duplicate this, by the way, by clicking here, duplicate. And I'm just going to take this and drag it right over here. Again, if it's being a little finicky, I can just add some kind of a block in there, and then it has room, I guess, inside of it to get dragged into. I'll just hit delete. There we go. Now we have 2 columns. Let's do AKI now. Yeah, so that sounds good. Anyway, so that's how that works. We can make columns that way. You don't have to do that very often. It's not really something that has been a common pattern on this website for you to need columns, but in case you ever need it, there it is. The resource header, this is useful for pages where you want to have some on-page search. Usually this is used on a resource page. If I go ahead and do that right here, so we're going to put this at the very top because that's usually where these go. Just right there, just dragging it up. There we go. I'm going to hit update. If I refresh this page, now we have a search function. So if I want to look for something like monkey box and I hit enter, it'll highlight and show all the things that say that. So that's pretty convenient. And let's see, any more blocks we need to go over? I think there's a couple more. Okay, let's do the course archive. This, we may or may not end up using these depending on what the final decision is on how we use courses. This might be a temporary block. So, but I'm going to do NTDS and it will show you courses. So if we end up discontinuing this in the future, you can ignore this part, but now we have all of the NTDS sections in this block. And featured courses, staff member cards. We'll show you staff member cards as well. If I click in here, you can make a staff member type of card. Those are used in places like the leadership page, I believe. So you can make these with this section right here. You just put their name, title, like if they're an MD or whatever, position, like if they're a chair or a member or a liaison or something, the institution, the email. You can have them include a bio. So these are used for kind of like a one-off thing, but they're pretty useful and you can just add as many as you want. And there you go. Also, there's a place to put a section title. I mean, a section title. That's like this thing right here. So that's how that works. And then finally, display committee block. This one is a little bit like the staff member block, but it lets you choose a category and it's done in a more concise kind of a way. If I click here and update, you'll see what it looks like. So here's the AKI recovery work group. So those are pretty much the blocks that you need to know about and use. The next thing I want to show you really quick is patterns. I'm going to go ahead and delete all of these blocks that we have because there's a whole bunch of blocks. It's kind of messy. So let's just go ahead and you can just click on them. If you get like this kind of blue outline, you can delete it. So just click near the edge. You can delete things like this. Hit backspace, whatever, you know. Delete. I can also actually highlight a bunch of these. I can actually like, I think Control A, and that'll select all of them and delete all of them too. All right, I'm going to click on this plus button and I'm going to choose patterns. One feature I had requested is they wanted to be able to make it easy to add a bunch of these blocks so you kind of get a little template right out of the gate. So if I choose patterns like I just did, there's one that's called project page template. I'm just going to take it and drag it over here. And now it puts in kind of the standard sequence of blocks, your mission statement, your work group, your spotlight, your events. Some might have some others, but this is a good way to kind of get you started. You might even want to delete some of these. Maybe some you might not want to have an events section. So you could just click on it and delete it either by hitting the delete key on your keyboard, or you can say remove section block. You can delete that way as well. So that's how you use the block editor. And that's how you use the patterns. And yeah, hope that's helpful. In this section, I'm going to show you how to update the resource library. So here's an example right here. We have the NTDS resource library. We have a search function right here. That's one of these blocks. And then we also have these, all the sections for NTDS. If I click on edit page, I'll just let you see briefly what it looks like on the back end. You'll see we have our resource header block, and then we have a block called resource archive, and that's specifically pointing to the NTDS. That's all that's going on this page, 2 blocks. But it's important to understand the other side of this too, which is probably the more important part, honestly, and that is the resource library right here. If I click here and say, if I click on all resources, you'll see we have tons of different resources. If I click here on monkeypox, you can take a look here and see we have subcategories under monkeypox: Centers for Disease Control, frequently asked questions, and we can edit these pretty easily. If you wanted to change what the text says, you just go in here and add something. If you want to change the link, you would just delete this and put a new link in. If it happens to be going to a video, you're going to want to check this box right here. And so you can make these changes. You can also rearrange things. So if I want to take this one and move it down to the bottom, I just move it like so and let go. So I could just drag and drop, and we can move these by basically grabbing that number here. If you want to add a new resource, we just go right here to say add resource button. We'll click that, and then we can type in something and put a link in. Pretty simple. If I want to get rid of it, I can click this little minus. We'll say remove row, and just click it twice, and it will go away. If you want to put something in between one of these, you'll see there's a little plus and minus buttons. If I click this, it'll put a new resource in between these rows. So that's convenient if you don't want to put it at the end or whatever. So that's some basic editing for these resources and subcategories. I'm going to go ahead and go out of here now for a moment. And I'm just going to make a brand new one from scratch. So let's say we wanted to make a brand new resource. We just click on add new right here. And I'm going to say we're going to make a resource, and it's just going to be called medical devices. I don't know. And it's going to be under DKDC. So it's going to show up in that category. And maybe it also goes in NTDS, just for fun. And what I can do is I can click on add resources or subcategory. So most of the time, we're going to want to put a subcategory. Once in a while, maybe you want something to be top level, so there are no subcategories, but almost 99% of the time, probably you're going to click here on subcategory. And then you give it the subcategory name, and we'll call this scalpels. And here where it says research title, we'll say, how sharp do your knives need to be for clean cuts? I don't know, I'm making stuff off the top of my head. And then you could link to an article or a video or something here. Then if you want another one, you just hit add resource and we can just add as many as we need. And if we need a second category, we can just click here again where it says add resource or subcategory. We'll just add a new subcategory and we'll call this computers. And then you could have some resources for that as well. And yeah, that's pretty much how it works. And it would appear, you know, in here you'd have your top level. So this equates to this. And these are subcategories. So this equates to basically this. And if I open it, these would be our actual articles and links. And that's these. So that's basically how that works. It's pretty straightforward. Yeah, and then if you need to delete one, you can just hit move the trash. I'm actually going to delete this one right now because we don't really need this. It's just for demonstration. So I'm going to hit leave page. We're deleting this page. It's gone. And yeah, that's how you add resources. And yeah, let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Okay, in this section, I'm going to show you how to add video pages to the ASN website. So here's an example right now. We have the AKI Now Artificial Intelligence that has a little bit of text. And then we also have a video right here. And these are pretty easy to make. What we're going to do is when you're in the back end, you're going to find this thing called video pages right here. And you can see a full list of all the existing ones. You can also add new ones by clicking add new. You would just give it a title. So in this case, maybe we'd say like video tutorial. And then we could add an actual video from YouTube. So I could just go to like YouTube, or it could be from somewhere else, but that's probably the most common thing. We're just going to take this video about baby elephants and we're going to stick this here and we're just going to paste it right here where it says enter URL. So we're just going to paste that video in there. It loads up and we'll say baby elephants are cute. Helps if I spell things right. And then I'm going to go over here to the right and I'm going to click the blue publish button. Let's save that here. And then I'm just going to go right here where it says view video page. So put the title here, video tutorial, baby elephants are cute. And that's it. So, and then the only other thing is that you might want to link this from some like Spotlight or something, in which case all you need to do is just grab the URL and copy it and put it where, you know, wherever you're going to put the link. If you want it to be a relative link, just copy from here over, just .org and over is where you're going to copy. The reason why I keep mentioning these relative links, like basically grabbing just the last part of the URL, is because on the spotlights, if you use a relative URL, it will stay in the same tab when you open something. For example, if I click on this, it goes to a new page, but it stays in the same tab. And if I use an absolute URL, then it will open up in a new tab. See how this one has a little icon that's a new tab icon? This is just like a double arrow. So if I click here, it opens that in a new tab. So that's why I keep mentioning that if you want to use relative links, just copy this over and then that'll work. So that's how that works. The videos are pretty simple, straightforward. Let me know if you have any questions. In this section, we're going to show you how to edit project committees, how to add them to pages, and how to make new ones. So I'm on the project committees page. I'm on About and Project Committees. You'll see there's a whole bunch of these. Now, because I'm logged in, there's an Edit Committee button, which is kind of handy. So if I click on this, I can edit this committee, and you'll see this is the name of the committee here. Here's the name of the chair, their title, and their institution. Then you can see there's committee members, their title, institution, etc. And then there's a miscellaneous category, which we've, in this case, named staff liaison. And there's their name. And in this case, they didn't have a title, but they do have an institution. And that's how that works. So anyways, we can make new committees by going to committee on the left-hand side here and then clicking add new. If I wanted to make an example committee, I could just say test committee, whatever, and we could put the name and it could be Joe Brown, and he's an MD and he works at the U of A, I don't know. And there's there's members here and we can put them in here. We're just going to say her name is Jane and her title is person, and her institution is the U of S. Why not? And then if I want to add more committee members, I can do that here by adding add committee members, and we can just basically put in whoever else we want. So, and that's how that works. And then when we're finished, we just hit publish, and that committee will just exist in the database. But if you want to go on a page, we need to actually place it there, and I'll show you how that's done. So here I'm on the Human Factors membership page, and I want to add the Human Factors committee. So to do that, all I need to do is go up to the top and click on Edit Page. Then I can go change this from this is the classic editor right now, but for these special blocks that we have, we need to switch to the block editor. And that can be done right here where it says Editor, switch to block editor. I'll click on that. And then I'm going to click on this little plus icon up in the upper left-hand corner. And this shows me all the blocks we have, including quite a few custom blocks that we've made specifically for the ASN site. So I'm going to go to Display Committee Block. It's right here. Click on that, and that just adds it. And then I just need to choose what committee do I want to display. So I'll click on Select, and I want, in this case, the Human Factors one. So let's look for it. There it is, Human Factors Workgroup. So I'm going to click on that. And that's all you need to do, except for we just need to hit Update in the upper right-hand corner. You'll save the page. And then I can click on View Page up here or down here. It doesn't really matter. But I'm going to click it at the top. And now we will see that the Human Factors Committee has been placed on the page. All right, one more thing I want to mention is in the header, there are these buttons, ASN Home and ASN Communities. You probably won't need to change these very often, but I did include an area where you can do just that. So if you go into the back end and you scroll down, there'll be an area called Theme Settings. And in Theme Settings, if we click on that, you'll see an area that says Header Options, Top Header. And you can change these buttons. So you can change what these buttons say, ASN Home, right here, and where they link to. In this case, it links to the ASN top level parent website. And then ASN Communities goes to communities.asn.org/home. And so you can replace that with different buttons if you want, or additional buttons as needed, but don't add too many because there's not that much room up there. But that's something you can do. Also, if you really need to change this completely, there is a kind of a catch-all where you can click replace buttons with custom HTML. So if you needed to do something besides those buttons up there, you could write your own HTML code to replace that. That's only, there is just sort of a backup in case you really decide you need to put something other than a button up there. But for the most part, you can just leave this alone, but that's how you change that. And so, yeah, that's pretty much the entire tutorial. We may need to do a supplementary tutorial in the future, especially because the courses is one subject that hasn't quite been pinned down yet at the time of this recording. So if there is a supplementary video that needs to be made, I will include it in the description of this video. But until then, good luck and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much.